The buzz around town is with all due respect. And somebody told me once that by the time somebody says with all due respect, just know that the next thing they're about to say is that it is dripping with disrespect. But okay, that's a conversation for another time. Kennedy Kaunda is the chairman of the Tour Guides Association and is in the hot seat of the Situation Room this morning. Kennedy, good morning.
Good morning, SpiceFM, and to our listeners, good morning too.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
It's your first time in the hot seat, but I reckon you've been in quite a lot of seats in the last couple of days. We normally welcome our guests with a proverb from a different African country every week. Dennis will tell you where we are. We'd love to get your interpretation.
The country we're in today is Gabon, and it's a country that has what we don't have, that so you guys down tools, right? They have fuel. They mine that, but they don't process it. That's the saddest part. But they also have a natural nuclear reactor that helps them in terms of harnessing that to have energy. But the proverb that you get from the country is even a leopard cub has spots. Even a leopard cub has spots. How would you interpret it?
Wow. I'm not a scholar. I'm a tour guide.
Yes. That means you've actually interacted with leopards.
Yes.
So mtoto a leopard has spots.
Spots.
Yes.
Correctly. You are not supposed to underestimate how far he can run.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
Well said. Don't underestimate anything.
Don't underestimate anything. All right. So, on Monday evening, you basically told people, no, we can't accept this. Different from many other questions that you may have been asked. What was going through your mind at the moment when you were standing in the company of other people from the industry and you said to them, excuse me, with all due respect, this is not what we agreed. What was going through your mind at that point?
I came there with a goodwill, expecting that we were going to have a reduction on fuel. People may wonder why I am in this, because we have had a perception where people say that it's a matatu sector industry. But this time round, why we supported this, we came in as a transport sector strike. We were pushing for it. And that is why we came in and advised, we formed a committee under the leadership to include all the players, from tourism industry to the mining people, to the people who are drilling, to those who transport parcel, to the commuters, truck drivers. Every one of us, we were in an inclusive moment that we want to set things straight. Because fuel increase in Kenya.
Yeah.
If you ask me, as a tour guide, most of our clients who are brought up with our employers, who are tour operators, they gave out all the costs based on that price which was then last year. And remember, all our travelers, they plan their trips 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. And now here we have our government, which we love so much. They come one day and announce an increment on fuel. And that is why I was present in that meeting. Because we are gearing up towards high season, where we are going to have a lot of projects, either domestic or international. And you know, now there is fuel increment, meaning my income is going to be affected, either in accommodation, all in food, all in my wages. So that is why we agreed that all together we want to push this thing.
Okay.
And I expected that the government is going to be kind enough and to have us agree, at least somewhere. So there was a stalemate because the meeting took five hours.
Yes.
Okay.
There was, we had to break in between so that we are able to consult. About 3 times. And time was going. It was almost heading to midnight. So that is where the CS, Chilchil and Opio and I said, okay, we have to agree on something. So what are your conclusions? So we told him, we are not going to agree. What we do now, we need to suspend the conversation, take it forward to another day. That is what we agreed.
Okay.
And then, on the table, we said, okay, go consult again. Maybe you come up with another conclusion. So they went out, promising to come in so that we decide what to tell the media people and our Kenyan people. Surprisingly, what Opio and I, our Honorable CS, started delivering as a speech or as a statement was not what we had agreed.
Okay.
And in my mind, being a tour guide, I'm trained to give authentic information, to tell true stories. So that is why at that moment I said what was supposed to be said.
Okay. So what you had spoken about in the room, because all of us media we're waiting, okay, so we know what's going to happen tomorrow. So from about when we were told that you were going to a meeting 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, people are not coming out. How far? So after 5 hours, what was being said is not what you agreed on. Is that what you're saying? You've come out of the room, there's a press conference, everybody's there, all the cameras are out, people are waiting. What the cabinet secretary for energy is saying is not what you had agreed on. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So he finished the statement. So in the room, nothing had been said about 10 shillings reduction.
Yeah, we had something on the table.
Yeah. So they had said 10 shillings reduction.
Yeah, they had given us 8, we refused.
Okay.
That is why I made it short, that we had this, we were breaking all the time.
Okay.
So that for us to consult.
Okay.
And all that time, we were not agreeing.
Okay.
They came up with 8. We were looking at 46. We became candid enough and we said, okay, we can drop it up to 30 or 35. They went again to consult. You see? They came back. They gave us 10. We again refused. We did not agree. So we agreed now that, okay, if we are not agreeing even on 10, so what do we have now to take home?
Okay. Yeah. And what was that? What was it that you agreed as you were leaving the room? Because you were going to a press conference. You were going to a presser out of that meeting.
Correct.
So you left the room, having not agreed. You had agreed to disagree. So had you agreed that you were going to come out and tell people, well, we have disagreed and until the next one? Or what was it that you had all said we are coming out to say?
We all agreed that let's go out there and tell the people and the Kenyan nation that we have not reached an agreement. Okay. Therefore, let's push this conversation to another day.
Okay.
So basically, when you guys came to address the media at the time, what was supposed to be told to Kenyans is that there has been no agreement.
Yes.
The strike still stands.
Yes.
Until that time when we reconvene and agree on what's to be lowered, agreeable to both parties.
Correct.
So when you stood and made things bear, with all due respect, this not agreed upon, you were recalled. The meeting again happened the following day.
Yes.
And we saw new interested parties in that meeting. We saw Cabinet Secretary for Interior, Itumbi was there. We saw the Governor Sakaja. What changed the mood? What changed the position? Because still as we stand today, what you said no to is what is being implemented today. What changed? Because the 30 or 35 shillings that you are asking for has not been effected. We still operate with the 10 shillings that was reduced and 38 shillings that was increased on kerosene. What changed in the second meeting?
Remember that we are living in interesting times. I made a statement, rushed home.
Yes.
Receiving many calls.
From who?
From people.
Who?
Because I didn't know that it was breaking news.
Yes.
So I slept over, only to wake up in the morning. People, my son telling me I'm the one trending now. After that, we were also reaching out to one another. And we said the way we left that night, evening, we want to approach this thing now, all of us together, all the stakeholders, all the players. And we committed to ourselves that let no one be called separately. So let all of us have an inclusive meeting if the government wants to call us. So I was not surprised. When I was called, I had not known that there was a meeting going on. Because no one was we have a wall.
Yes.
There was no communication. The communication came through a phone call.
From whom?
From our other partners.
Okay.
And we have leaders on that way. Okay. You see,
on a normal day, communication usually happens in this WhatsApp group where all of you guys
we
are
created a wall for all of us.
For all of you guys.
Yes, so from the commuters, all the stakeholders.
So why then was communication then coming through a phone call as opposed to these united group that you formed where communication was supposed to happen?
The leader who is supposed to give the communication is supposed to update members. Yeah?
Yes.
Each time, each day. Okay, this is what is happening. We are expecting this.
Okay.
So that day, we were informed by a phone call. Another friend called me that, are you aware that there is a meeting going on in the deputy president office? Me, I knew it was deputy president. In fact, when I left rushing there, I went to the deputy president's office, only to be told, no, it is in the president office at the CS. Yeah? I told him, no, I'm not aware. Then he said, the other guy told me he is far. He cannot make it. And the way he had the conversation from the one who called him, that the meeting is almost over. So, being the person who was trending, I said, oh, wow, I cannot be left out. I took, the one who called me told me, where are you? Wherever you are, take the fastest means possible. So I took a boda. Yes, I reached there. I tried to enter in. In fact, for some times we were stopped. Then I said, no one is representing me in that meeting. I'm from the tourism sector industry. That is when they allowed me and some people who were also waiting. So we went to the room. And when I entered, I came late. They were doing the final remarks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay? They were doing the final
This was on
remarks.
Tuesday now.
Yes. And I am sorry on this case because I'm one person. I don't know how to craft what is not
there.
True. There, all what is not there.
So, Kennedy, what you're saying to us essentially is that on Monday night, because you were visibly upset, the whole nation was visibly upset.
Yes.
That by the time we were going to bed midnight waiting for all of this, it was clear that we were at an impasse. There was no agreement that was going to be made.
Correct.
But the same arrangement that had been reached on Monday is the same arrangement that was reached on Tuesday. There is nothing that has changed except for the fact that the industry players now said, okay, fine, we'll give you 7 days to do this, and if after 7 days we'll go back on strike. But what you're telling us now, you who essentially said this thing that you're telling us, Mr. CS, cannot happen because that is not what we agreed, and the meeting fell apart.
Yes.
You were not there on Tuesday until the end of the meeting.
Correct.
Does that mean that had you been there, you would not have agreed and you would have said, no, guys, stop all of this thing, had you been there earlier?
Yes, because that was our stand.
Okay. This is
towards any other next meeting.
This is Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember, we left there the previous evening, the previous night.
Yes.
And all of us took stand and they were very happy. In fact, they said, I saved the nation. I even saved them. Remember that the majority who are there, they are Matatu industry people. And they are the ones who are now the leaders. They are heading our committee, and they are the ones whom we chose. You know, some of us, we travel. So you have to have people who are present there. If they can be called anytime, they are there.
Okay.
And in that case, there are those who are representing their circles from matatu industry.
So, Kennedy, you are still not happy with this 10 shilling reduction on diesel?
Well, I'm not happy. I'm sorry to say. Please, anyone who will hear this, he has to excuse me, because we agreed that any meeting that we are going to be called upon, let us have one stand.
Yes.
That we want fuel increase to be reduced, to be lowered. If not 46, at least
35
to 30.
So, you shook hands. In fact, they insisted that you be the one to say that we have reached an agreement, and you be the one to shake the hand of CS Opio Wandai, CS Kipchumba Murkomen. You shook their hands.
Yes, I shook, because we were not enemy.
And you, of course, but what you're saying now is that fundamentally you are not in agreement with the agreement that was reached.
That is from me. I don't know about the others.
You told
if I was in that room that day from the beginning of the meeting,
but on Tuesday,
I could have excused myself if we had no an agreement.
I understand
could
that,
have
but
come
Kennedy,
out
you
anyway.
must understand how it looks.
Yes.
That on Tuesday, before 1 o'clock,
yes,
you had said we've reached an agreement. But now what you're saying today, on Thursday, is that actually I don't agree with what was agreed on.
No, I never said we reached an agreement. And if anyone of them said that, not for me. Remember that they had already prepared who was going to talk.
Yeah.
Me coming in it was an afterthought.
Okay.
Because I was there.
Out you.
I was not going to speak that day.
Okay.
But my people, my other players in the industry and partners, stakeholders, they're the ones who said no. The due respect man has to say something, because as we stand now, this is the guy of the moment, and he's the one which the Kenyan people will hear.
Kaunda, this is really troubling, because
it is troubling me as well. Yes.
On Monday, you stood on business and told off pretty much the cabinet secretary and called him out for lying. Because you have not agreed on that position.
Correct.
You went to sleep. And on a Tuesday, conversations were held by individuals that you trusted pretty much, because there was where you were having a conversation, that WhatsApp group where conversations never happened. Only for you to hear that some of your members in that leadership were already meeting without you people having information, that you only showed up because someone else leaked that information to you that there's a meeting that is ongoing.
Yes.
You show up, you are stopped from getting in, finally you get in, but when you come out, a statement is given, but on Tuesday, you don't stand on business like you did on Monday. What stopped you from saying, I wasn't part of this? I do not agree with this.
I stood with the business of the goodwill. That is what I did. I did not stood in the business of the agreement reached.
Okay.
There was goodwill. And that is the spirit which moved me to say something, because they fronted me and they said, with all due respect, you have to say something.
Okay.
But
with all
due
respect, I had seen a goodwill, because during the final remarks, our Governor Sakaja offered himself as the guarantor.
Of what?
Of what?
Of the 7 days dialogue. Because you remember we announced a 7-day dialogue.
Why would you have Sakaja as a guarantor of a dialogue in a conversation that you are having with the national government through the cabinet secretary? Because why would you trust Sakaja to speak on matters of national interest? Because fuel reduction, fuel estimates is done by an agency within the ministry. So the conversation was between the Transport Cabinet Secretary, was within the Energy Cabinet Secretary. One would have hoped that perhaps maybe it would also be a conversation with the Treasury Cabinet Secretary, because they are connected in one way or the other. Why trust Sakaja to be a guarantor in a conversation that he shouldn't be in anyway?
Well, remember that in every war, there is time for ceasefire. And we had come out from a stalemate where there was no agreement. So someone has to step in for interventions. And in that case, I believe that Governor Sakaja brokered the intervention, because all these people were not in the picture. Yeah? Allow me maybe to use the afterthought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because remember, the country was heading in the wrong direction. There was a lot of tension in the country. It's only that when I did the statement, with all due respect. So in that conversation, when we are having the final remarks, my other stakeholders, they requested that, okay, you are placed the 7-day dialogue time. Who is going to be our guarantor for this, to oversee that we reach into an agreement? That is when Governor Sakaja offered himself to be a guarantor. Being that, remember, that day, the 2 days strike, Sakaja had not collected any revenue. Okay?
The city,
things were
the
not
city,
getting.
the county of Nairobi, had
being
not
the CEO, had
revenue.
not corrected.
Okay.
So being a politician as he is, he was also suffering. And being a politician again, he placed himself as the common man. Remember, he was elected by the people of Nairobi. And the people of Nairobi were, he knows very well they were going to be on his neck. So he had, even if I was him,
you would have done the same.
I could have done the same to go and then he broker this deal.
What turned your visible frustration on Monday night into happiness by Tuesday afternoon?
I was not happy. I'm always an unhappy man. Even if you ask people where I live, where I work, I'm always a smiling man. My job allows me to do that.
You were not smiling on Monday night, Kennedy.
I was not smiling because someone was saying something that I didn't say.
Now, what difference?
The difference
they didn't say anything different
Yes.
on Monday night than they did on Tuesday
They
afternoon,
say
except
Yes.
that we're going to keep it as it is. So diesel still remains 10 shillings less. Kerosene still remains 38 shillings more, right? What they've added to this is that 7 days will allow them, and today is day 3 already. Day 2, maybe 5 more days to figure that out, right? What they've done is that they have said, we'll talk about it for 7 more days. Nothing has changed between Monday night and Tuesday afternoon, but your position has changed.
With all due respect, something changed.
Okay.
Something changed. And this is what changed. Remember, we were to approach the meeting with all the stakeholders.
Okay.
Something happened, and some of us came in late. Yeah? The transport sector, most of the players who were on the front line were Matatu people. You enter into a room, and you find that your other colleagues has found a window. And that window was the 7-day dialogue conversation. And that is what changed in me.
Yeah.
And you see, sometimes I have told you, during the war, there is a ceasefire. And when ceasefire takes place, something has to happen.
Okay.
And that is what happened for me. I said, okay, fine, I've entered the room. You are my friends. Because we were not enemy, I shook the hand, and we agreed now we are going out. And then if we are going out, this is what we are going to say. There is a reduction of 10 shillings. To stand for us between the 7 days dialogue conversation.
Yeah.
I saw a goodwill. For me, that is what made me.
On whose part? Whose goodwill did you see? Goodwill from whom?
From both parties.
Who?
The players, my other partners who were already in the meeting.
Not government.
Not government.
So
They had already accepted the 7 day.
And
Okay, 7 days.
I'm
So-
trying to understand this goodwill that you have seen.
Yes.
From matatu operators, they've seen goodwill to do what? They were on the receiving end of whether the fuel prices would come down or not.
Remember-
Goodwill to be part of the conversation?
Yes,
Okay.
they were feeling the inch because you remember that during the demonstration, for the first time in history of our country, the transport sector, they placed their tools down, not on the road, but in the parking. Remember, the roads were very clear. No obstruction, no nothing. So the tear gas man had no one to tear gas on the road because no vehicle was blocking any Kenyan person or any car from moving. There were activities.
Yeah.
But in between, we saw another group. Remember, some people lost their lives, some property were lost. So we had to give in from our part. And when I found out that my people have given in for that goodwill,
Just went along.
I felt relieved because, okay, if this can save us for us to reach into conclusion, then why not?
Okay.
Right.
If you were me, what could have you done?
So, Kaunda, I look at, I just want to repaint the picture here.
Yes.
On Monday, when the cabinet secretary was speaking, the very members that you speak about were quiet when the minister pretty much was lying to Kenyans.
Yes.
It took you to stand up and say, this is not what we agreed upon. Until that we agree.
Yes.
Comes the following day, and the very same members that were quiet the previous night were in a meeting that you were not invited in,
Correct.
discussing issues of national importance, right? And by the time you're getting in, discussions had already happened that they were at the final end of it, final remarks. That means you are not party to the conversations that happened that arrived at the 7 days and the agreement to the 10 shillings and the 38 shillings increment. That means even when you are part of the bandwagon now saying we've seen the goodwill, you are not party to it. So my question then is, the members that were in this meeting, one, did they let you down by not inviting you as a member to be part of these conversations? Because remember, second day, it is because you're the one who stood up and says, strike continues. We've not agreed on this. And second, with this goodwill that you're talking about, are there ongoing meetings? Because we are waiting for the president to come for these meetings to continue. So have you been let down by the members who agreed to that? And are there meetings ongoing?
Remember that we are managing a crisis in a crisis. Where we have a country where the CSS cannot reach into a conclusion or make a decision.
The CSS cannot. Okay.
Because actually the president, the man in authority is not present. Okay?
Okay.
But Kaunda,
Although the goodwill of his CSS were there, which we were looking also upon, because how much can it take for the president maybe to do a communication? I don't want to go there. I still believe in our government that there has to be a goodwill. We have given them authority to lead us, and it is their responsibility to make things work. And now we're having a working nation instead of a working nation. Remember, when you started, you gave me a proverb of a leopard, all the small leopard
with sports, yes.
which sports, which you cannot underestimate. I entered that room late. I came late. I found that the meeting has reached its
It's
conclusion.
concluded, yeah.
And people are doing final remarks. Okay? So, the way I estimated, if my people have seen that if we have these 7 days and it's good for us to have a dialogue, and then let's have it as a goodwill.
All right.
And then the CEO of the county has given us an assurance that I'm here. If this does not happen, then we resume the
strike.
strike.
Okay. What would have happened if you were early for that meeting?
Yeah.
You on time. Meeting starts 9 o'clock. Kaunda is there at 9. What would have happened in that meeting, based on what you know now?
Yes.
What would have happened if you were on time for that meeting, and then before 1 o'clock when we now broke the news?
Remember that I'm not the only one who was not present.
No. What
There
would
were
have happened?
many people who were
We've
not
already
present.
established that.
Yes.
But you,
Yes.
who essentially stopped this thing from going forward on Monday night, was not in the meeting on Tuesday until the last bit. I'm just asking, let's say that you were there on Tuesday morning when they started the discussions and the deliberations between whomever and where the governor was there. What would you have said? At the beginning, we've come back now and say, okay, guys, we're on
Yes,
the
yeah.
table. Let's start again. What would you have said?
I could still refused and stood my ground that we had agreed that we need the fuel increase to be lowered.
Okay.
And if it is not, then I had already had my own conclusion. And my conclusion was I could have walked out
Okay.
and let the people of Kenya decide.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, that obviously did not happen.
It did not.
But what you've told us is that you saw, since the other members, different industry, truckers, matatus, borders, whomever else within the transport industry, stakeholders within the sector, operators, they seem to have all come to an agreement whereby we said, okay, guys, let's give it 7 days, let's have a conversation. Did you feel they were compromised in any way?
I cannot charge. I don't want to say because I never had the chance to sit in the meeting.
Okay.
Do you feel like they were compromised in any way?
You know, I don't know how you can define compromise or interpret it. Because remember that most of our stakeholders, our players were not there. The petroleum people, the commuters, they were not there.
Those who are there,
Yes, for those who are there,
were they compromised?
I can't tell.
You can't tell.
That is why I can say, you know, when you look at the leopard and you see
The sports.
the spots,
Don't underestimate it.
don't underestimate it.
Okay.
I am the due respect man. What could I have done with this?
You stopped an
Cap,
entire
yes, sir.
negotiation. You,
I
because
looked.
of the words that you said on Monday night,
Yes.
essentially meant that we were waking up Tuesday and once again the country was going to be at a standstill because you said, guys, let's be honest. For once, somebody in the room stood up and said, no, let's have a conversation where we're being honest to Kenyans and let's tell them that this is not what we agreed in the room. That Kenyans should not have to walk another day, that Kenyans should not have to miss work another day, that Kennedy Kaunda was going to stand up and say, no, whether you are a CS or God himself, this is not what we agreed.
Correct.
You stopped that from happening.
Yes.
But for some reason, on
Yes.
Tuesday, I don't even know if to use the words unable, but this didn't happen because you were not in the room, you came for a meeting late. Suddenly, all these people who you stood with on Monday night, and 3 CSs walked past you and threw their hands up essentially and said, we can't do this because of your word. Did that word lose its potency by
No.
Tuesday?
I was
This is
not,
what I'm asking.
Yes.
So you've thrown your hands up on Tuesday and said,
Yes.
okay, because my guys have said,
So
let's
be it.
wait. You did not ask anybody's permission on Monday night before you made that statement. But on Tuesday, what you're telling us is, well, I came into the room and people had agreed, so they had to go, which is understandable. And that's
Correct.
why I'm asking you, if you feel as though the same people that were in the room on Monday are the same people, and I'm not talking about human bodies in a space.
Oh, yes.
If the same people who were in the room on Monday are the same people who were in the room on Tuesday, and I am sure you know exactly what I'm asking you.
Yes.
Were they?
I can say they let me down. And I was not supposed to throw my hands and walk away. That is why I joined them down there, only with one thing, the goodwill that I saw of 7 days.
Okay.
As for me, they did not only let me down, they let the country down.
Kaunda, you said something that is very critical earlier, that the cabinet secretaries cannot make a decision because they're waiting for the big man at the top, right? And during the meeting on Monday, there were various sessions of consultations where you did not agree. They went into a room to consult, then come back and have those meetings, whatever happened, right? Could I be right that even the 10 shillings that we are talking about, knowing very well, based off what you've said, that cabinet secretaries cannot make a decision, that the decision to lower diesel by 10 shillings and increase 38 shillings and even extend the 7 days for negotiations is not the cabinet secretary's decision, but the president's position?
That came out. I'm not even the only one saying that. During our conversation,
Yes.
we did say, if you are not able to make a decision, our president is a very good man. In his remarks every time when he speaks, he says he's a servant of the people. Why don't we do a Zoom meeting? Because we are here.
Yes.
That is when we said, even together with me, that are you not able to make a decision until the president comes?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I want to be quoted the same.
So the decision that was arrived at, whatever we are dealing with right now, the decision that exists, is that a president's decision?
It is from our CS Murkomen who came in for intervention because, and Opio and I remember there was Dennis Itumbi, there was Mbadi.
Okay.
You know, there are so many things which happened.
Yeah.
Okay? And with all due respect,
Yeah.
you see, I feel that moment that I stood changed everything.
I think so too.
And that is why we are here today.
And I actually think there's this niggling feeling in the back of my head that you're still in the same position.
I'm still in the
I
same.
feel like you're telling us without telling us that
Yeah.
you're still in the same position and that you hold ground whereby you feel as though something is not yet right. Whether the other stakeholders in the industry sold out a position or, passed up a birthright for whatever compensation, whatever the innuendo may be. But there's something that tells me that you might still be in the same spot whereby if by Tuesday, because 7 days would have elapsed by then, that maybe you would be the voice who comes out and says, guys, this is not what we agreed on. A repetition of what you did on Monday night. But then we want to also ask, if they said that negotiations were going to continue over 7 days, it's not too far from now. Today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
We are in
Monday.
day 4,
We're in
day
4,
5.
isn't it?
Yes.
So are there conversations that are happening? Is somebody still saying lower the price? Has somebody said, okay, we'll niggle it down 2 shillings? Is somebody saying, okay, we're looking for money? Has somebody sent information? Is there a conversation happening at the moment?
So many things are happening.
Okay.
I've not had any meeting, any conversation.
Yeah.
We are in day 4, day 5. In my group, I've not seen.
Okay. Nobody's
It
talking.
was until yesterday
Okay.
when we had, when we were hosted in Citizen Live, when we met 3 of us.
Yeah.
Again, up to this morning, I don't know, maybe when I leave here, that is when I know that we were supposed to have a meeting today at 11. Because there is a group
Yeah.
which were left out the way I came in late. They are complaining. So that is why I'm saying there are so many things happening. So far, I have not had any meeting, intervention, because you see, the resolutions which came out, the 7-day dialogue, there was no exit plan.
Okay.
I have not seen the document. I didn't see because I came in late.
Yeah.
Well, it has not been shared. So I'm still remaining standing there where I was, looking forward for the goodwill of the 7 days.
Is there a possibility, Kaunda, that the very same individuals who isolated you in the very first meeting would be having meetings and not letting you know?
That's why Kenyans say we have the brown envelope. I'm looking for it. My children in school, they are being asked the brown envelope. It is hard for me.
They didn't give you.
They didn't give you.
If others got, you didn't get.
I have not seen. No, I don't know whether they got.
Yeah.
You know, even my children, my son he is in the university. This morning he called me and he said, "Dad, I'm being asked the brown envelope. Have you seen it? Yeah, have not seen. Have not heard of it. Yeah? So that leaves me. In fact, I have no questions.
To be honest, Kaunda, where you sit today, being day 4 since this started, and there are no meetings. Is there goodwill from where you sit to end the stalemate that there is? If there are no meetings to end the crisis that the country finds itself in, because let's face it, if we're waiting for the president to come back, yet we have cabinet secretaries who run these departments, who should be able to make decisions and just advise or update the president on what is going on. Is there goodwill if we are not having meetings since Tuesday?
Well, I will leave the goodwill to the Kenyan people.
I think the Kenyan people have goodwill to survive.
Yes. Yes, that is where, because I agree with you totally. They have the goodwill to survive.
Do you think that, because right now, and I think this is where this conversation started with across platforms on Monday, that there's no question that fuel prices are too high. There's no question that the end user, who is the person who has to get into a vehicle, the person who has to go from point A to point B, is the one who is going to suffer this, because they'll have to pay more from a place where they don't have it. That people will have to pay 150 shillings where they were normally paying 30 shillings with the price of fuel. And that even industry players cannot afford this. They can't afford this, because that means their bottom line then is decreased significantly. It is not a question about emotions or whether somebody feels a certain way on a Monday. The truth of the matter is that they are too high. People cannot afford it. It is ruining people. Now, and so in order to solve that problem, let's not have a conversation about who looks nice on Tuesday. Let's have a conversation about how you're going to reduce the thing to at least manageable amounts that people can then even try to afford. So there's no romanticizing this thing. It is reduce the prices so that we can move and find a way to do that, right?
Yes.
Now, in your you said so far there's no conversation, even from the Chinese telephone. Do you think that come Tuesday, they will come to people and say, actually, you know what? We've reduced this thing by 30 shillings. Do you see that? Because you were the one in the inner sanctum. You had these conversations with these guys. Do you see that this goodwill that you talk about, is there goodwill to reduce this thing, let's even go with diesel and petrol, by 30 shillings? Is there goodwill? Do you think it will be, that means knock off another 20 shillings? Truth, Kaunda, do you think that they will do it?
From where I sit, with all due respect.
Yes, of course.
I still feel that we have goodwill.
My question is,
from my people, and looking forward to have that goodwill from them. That is why we are giving them a benefit of doubt.
Yeah.
The people who will make a decision to reduce the cost of these fuel products are not the people in your industry.
In your meeting.
They're not the people that you have, the stakeholders.
Yes.
I'm talking about the people that you addressed to say, excuse me, Mr. CS, this is not a conversation that we had. Those are the guys
yes,
who you've told Kenyans that they will come back to us and they will tell us in 7 days. But the minimum that you have put, in fact, the chairman of the Amatatu Association is the one who said the minimum is that if in 7 days they have not, we will go back on strike. My question is, from the rumblings, the chatter about, do you think that this fuel will come down by more than this 10 shillings that it currently is now?
I have a feeling that fuel will come down, because the
By
10
Tuesday.
shillings we did not, I did not agree with the 10 shillings, even the Kenyan people, you see. As we speak now, the fares they were increased,
Yeah.
50%. They didn't go, despite of the 10 shillings being lowered. So as a believer,
Yes.
Seventh-day Adventist,
Okay.
I believe that always there is hope. I have hope
It's good to have
that we are
hope.
going to have a goodwill from Sakaja, because he's the one who offered himself as our guarantor. And I dare him that come Tuesday, he will stand in front of the nation and speak to us.
Kaunda, you remember in April, the fuel prices as well went up, and it took the president for VAT to be reduced from 6% to 8%, and that had to go to Parliament for that to be approved. That means if we are to see the change in fuel today, then it is Parliament that has to be called in to change the law in terms of levies and taxes that are in that space. That if we are to be honest today, then we would see some movement in Parliament to change that. Like rightfully so, you said, the president cannot change that because he does not have power over Parliament. The cabinet secretaries cannot change anything because they do not have power over Parliament. It is Parliament that is supposed to change that. The president can start that process through Treasury or through the ministry and take that to Parliament. If that is not happening, then come Tuesday and we do not see anything, are we back to the streets?
I will remember that when during our conversation, I said there are so many things happening.
Yeah.
And one of the things, again, we saw a letter. We saw a letter going around from the minister, Dindi Njono.
Yeah.
As we speak, the parliament is in recess.
Recess, yes.
And there is a demand that these guys
We recall.
be recalled. You see, we tried to give solutions to the CS children and body during our conversation that, the president has an autonomy. And they said he cannot give an executive order. So we are looking at so many things. And for me, come Tuesday, if all of us can say enough is enough and go to the street. But I fear so much for my life,
Yeah.
Yeah, I fear so much.
Why are you afraid?
Of course, I've received a lot of calls since that moment.
Saying what?
Of course, I'm not supposed to be here today. Actually, if I had changed my number, you could have not reached me.
Why would you be changing your
Because
number, Kennedy?
people are calling me. They said, okay, I'm an embarrassment. There are those calling my other colleagues whom we work with in the tourism industry. Remember, I am from the tourism industry as a tour guide.
Yeah.
Even I have some of my colleagues who are ridiculed me because, what business do I have to do with Matatu? What they don't understand, that a tour guide and tourism with transport go hand in hand.
Yes.
And I'm here to fight for the right of all of us.
Kaunda, are you being threatened?
What?
Are you being threatened? Through
I've
the
been
phone
told,
calls?
I've been told I'm an embarrassment, so I should check my words before I speak them. Sometimes when I want to speak at the moment, I have to be very careful. You are speaking to the authority. I confronted the people whom we have bestowed power upon. Some people are saying that I broke the protocol. Okay? I ashamed people, There are people who, not you who are here. There are those who are recommending me for what I did.
Yes.
And there are those who are with me. Actually, was it the day before yesterday?
Yes.
3 guys followed me with a motorbike, and I was walking down towards my home. They came and they turned. They told me, "We mzee, tumekuona wewe." And then they left. It was around 7:30. Okay, That is why I'm happy.
Day
for
before
you to
yesterday was
give me a platform here.
Day before yesterday was
Yeah, the day before
Monday.
yesterday
Was Monday.
Yeah, it was on Monday in the evening.
When you were in the meeting.
No. When
Today's Thursday.
Today's
Thursday.
Day before yesterday was Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
After the meeting in the afternoon.
Yes, in
That's
the afternoon,
unfortunate.
in the evening.
Yeah.
I'm a very small man. Me, I walk home sometimes.
Does it make you scared to speak out?
Of course.
To speak out. Does it make you scared to speak out, or do you still
That is
hold the
why
same
I'm saying
position?
this, because others called my wife, and they told her that she should speak to me. They told her that this man of yours is big-headed, so kindly could you speak to him so that he has to tone down.
Kaunda, decisions usually between government are usually agreed upon. I'll give you an example. Strikes that are held with other institutions end up in some agreements of sorts where people sign on a dotted line.
Yes.
The agreement that you arrived upon with the cabinet secretary, is there anything that was signed that is binding? Or was it just we agree as gentlemen and shake hands and believe that hewala, the goodwill will exist?
Well, that is why I said there are so many things which are happening. There are so many things which happened. There was no paper shared during that meeting, even when we were coming down, as a prayer and as a partner, also as a common man, or as a Kenyan citizen.
Yeah.
Even if I was there as a stakeholder, I was also there as a Kenyan.
Of course.
Nothing came out, I can say. So I've not seen. If they shared with the other leaders who are investors, some of us who are there are those who have 10 buses, they have 20 vehicles, they're the ones who are sitting on the table. So that is why I'm saying there is too much pressure on me.
I hear you.
Because if those people, even themselves, who is this, with all due respect, who can make decision for us?
Okay.
Let me say so.
I hear you.
Okay? I'm in that table. Here I am. I'm saying, no, there is no deal. How many buses do I have? How many matatus? In fact, people have started searching me, who I am, looking for what. Does this guy own matatus? You see, who can the government negotiate with? Is it me?
Yeah.
All those leaders from Forward Circles or Moina, those who owns.
We definitely hear you on this, and one thing we definitely hope that you keep safe regardless, and that people are looking forward to hear what happens come Tuesday, because the 7th day is Tuesday.
Yes.
No pun intended. But let's wait and see what happens. Remain safe, and keep speaking your truth. But thank you for being here with us this morning to then be able to find out. I think that there may have been some things that you've said today that have not come out anywhere else. But thank you for being candid to the best of your ability. Kennedy Kaunda, asante sana.
With all due respect.
There's no other way. Asante. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.